Each week, we welcome to the NfG stage one of our highly talented and exciting guests to bring you something designed to benefit you and your business. Our next guest is joining us once again from his home in Singapore, where it's around 6:30 in the evening and about half an hour from sunset, as I'm sure that he'll agree. As a successful businessman and a founder of the global giving initiative, B1G1, his determination to make a difference has led to him being on the TED stage no less than 4 times. Although a trained accountant by trade, his B1G1 platform was designed to count real impacts instead of counting beans. So here today to gain more business and joy through getting to nail your why, for our special extended education slot, we bring to you, with my popcorn, Paul Dunn. Over to you, Paul.
Oh, Richard, of all the introductions that I've had, that one is the most recent. It was really cool. Thank you very much. And more importantly, thank you, everybody, for taking time out on your Monday to be here with Richard and with Adrian and all the guys, Miller and everything. And I am just very privileged to be with you. One of the things that I do need to ask you just before we get underway with this, I'm not sure whether, hopefully I'm spotlighted or something so you can see me pretty well. Oh, I'm looking at the chat, which I shouldn't be. So I just wanted to check, show me your hands. We gave you some homework, which was to watch 2 videos. The one that I want to check that you actually watched was the one with Michael Jr. Show me your hands if you watched that. Can I see your hands if you did? Okay, maybe it's easier if I see your hands if you didn't and you've no idea what I'm talking about. Show me your hands if you did not. Okay, all righty. Well, even if you watched it, and at the risk of removing a few of my slides, I want you to watch it again. I just checked, I'm coming at you at 90 megabits per second. So hopefully this is going to work. And for those of you who've watched it, let's just watch it again. Really quickly, show me your hands if you know the song or the hymn called Amazing Grace. Let's get some stuff on that. Give me your hands. It's pretty easy. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to sing it. I'm not going to ask you to sing it. But what I am going to ask you to do is to listen to this guy. Let me just share my screen, and some of you know this, but I want to give you some more background on it. I'm just going to try and optimize my screen for video so that it should work okay. So let's see, here we go. So you can see him right there. This is Michael Jr. Let me give you some insights on him whilst I press play. There we go. Michael Jr. Who is he? Well, he is a comedian. And in the particular segment that you're about to watch, he's addressing some 5,500 people, not as a comedian, but he explains right up front that that's what he does. And he says, you know, I have a different gig every night in the US. I go around, I do this stuff. And he said that the structure is always the same. So the structure is that I talk for, or at least I go on for an hour and a half, and I always take a break. Whilst the thing is different, I always take a break at the 45-minute part, and stuff happens when I do that. As he put it, funny happens. So with that in mind, get ready for, I hope, an experience that will really, really live for you. Here we go. Here he comes. And you might just give me thumbs up if you can hear the sound.
Or I'll meet somebody who's really interesting. So I met this one guy, and he said that he teaches
yes
music
in the chat.
at a school. I was like, all right, you teach music, you know, can you sing? And then I'm just going to show you the clip. Check it. So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Woo. All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now, right now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. Let's go. Now, that's what I'm saying. Oh, goodness gracious. So here's the thing. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time I asked him to sing, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what has more impact because you're walking in or towards your purpose.
Oh, wow. Just put in the chat with a yes or no whether you liked that, how that impacted. Put a word in there as to how that impacted you. I just want to know. Go for it really quick. And you may have noted powerful. Goosebumps, says Nathan. Well done, Nathan. Powerful. And just get the last part of it, right? Which is when you know your why, your what, that is say what you do, has much more impact, much more. Thank you, Gary. Exactly. It is a wow. We will give you the, well, you've already got the link to that. You might want to share it around. Please do so. And by the way, that was filmed 3 years ago. And 3 years ago, that was really, really relevant. But now, post-COVID or in COVID, it is more memorable than, or more applicable, shall we say, than you could ever imagine. Really, really is. Let's take a look at a couple of things that went on in that, and then we'll talk about why that is, right? So this is all about building a business with purpose. And when you know your why, as he said, your what has more impact. I would add to that, that when you know how to clearly articulate your why, and we're going to give you a chance to show your skills at that in just a minute, what you do and how you do it become profoundly more attractive and more compelling. Do you want me to put that in real simple terms? When you know how to clearly articulate your why, your business will grow. You will create more clients and you will retain more clients than ever before. It is that important. Every single one of us has competitors, but I want you to take a note of this. Your differentiation comes from clarity of why, not excess of what. Please take a note of that. We think it's all about what. It's not. It's about why. And by the way, I mentioned that we're in a new world right now. Let me just quickly talk about that new world. You may want to take a note of this diagram. It is profoundly important. You can see the world has changed. Here's what we know has been happening. Just draw like two legs of a pyramid of a triangle, if you can. What we're going to do, make sure you've got a pen. On the left-hand side, we're going to talk about where we were. And on the right-hand side, as you look at it, there you go, the right-hand side, we are going to talk about where we are. And that's why today's session is really important. So what's been happening? And you cannot have been on this planet in the last 6 months to understand things have shifted dramatically. You cannot have been on the planet in the last 6 months and understand that we are connected in ways that, you know, we're unbreakable, if you will. And by the way, the word connection and belonging are really crucial for your business right now. So what we've done, what we've seen happening is we move from me to we. It is no longer about you. Right? That is so important to get that. It's not about you. In fact, it's not about inputs. It's not about you falling in love with how great you are. What it is all about is falling in love with the outcomes that you are producing for the clients you're privileged to serve. It's not, it always is about value, but now it's about values. As you'll see when we get to the end of this, it's not about getting, it's now about giving. And you probably feel this. You know, I get so many calls about the money and meaning thing where people, is happening pre-COVID, where people would say, you know, I'm doing fantastic in my business, but when my head hits the pillow, I ask myself, is that all there is? Money to meaning is critically important. As a result of what we're going to be seeing in a couple of minutes, someone called Simon Sinek, who you may know, he's a friend of mine. Now we're understanding that it's not about what we do, it's about why we do it. See the line up the top there, profit for purpose or to purpose? Please, 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 that doesn't mean that profit is not important. What it means is, take a note of these two things, and then we'll show you how to do this, is that profit follows purpose. If you would just get that, then your time at Networking for Good is going to be significantly valuable for you. Also take a note that income follows impact, okay? So you want more income, you create more impact. It's pretty simple. And let me show you how that plays out. On the left-hand side, everything on that left-hand side is essentially transactional. Everything on the right-hand side, as you're looking at it, is about a very simple word, and that word is humanity. That's the word. Now, I could delve really deeply into some stuff, even if we had more time, around why that is now where we are at. And we are at, in the United Kingdom, in every country in the world now, understanding this. And by the way, what is happening here? Oh my goodness, you are not seeing my screen. Oh my goodness, that was such good stuff. How did that happen? I have no idea how that happened, but let's make sure it happens again. Sorry about that, guys. Oh goodness me, I was getting passionate about all of that sort of stuff. So let's quickly do that again, really quickly. Okay, for the fast learners, okay? When you know your why, your what has more impact. When you know how to clearly articulate it, it becomes much more attractive and more compelling. Differentiation comes from clarity of why. Now you're going to see the pyramid, okay? So here it comes. There we go. So on the left-hand side where we were, sorry about that, and on the right-hand side where we now are. So there you see, it's me to you, me to we. Draw this stuff. Please draw it. Please draw it. From me to we. It's about inputs, not about, it used to be about inputs. Now it's about outcomes. Please do not fall in love with what you do. Please fall in love with the outcomes that you're producing. As we said, it's not about value. Well, value is still important, but it's now about values. It's what you stand for. And you can see the other things. You heard me talk about them already. And here's the little thing that I want you to take a note about. Thanks for letting me know, by the way, on the chat. Wow. You're probably wondering what the heck I was talking about. And the thing up the top there, remember those two things. Profit follows purpose and income follows impact. And then what I was saying was, on the left-hand side, this is what we've left behind now, right? We are no longer here. We used to be here. All transactional stuff. Now, the really smart businesses are over here. And it just makes so much more sense. It really does make so much more sense. In fact, let's have a look at some stats on this. You would probably know that HBR stands for Harvard Business Review. Take a note of this. Purpose-driven companies, this is some latest research from them, make more money, have more engaged employees, they're more loyal customers, and they're better at innovation and transformational change. Have a look at this one. You're going to have to do it really quickly. This lady called Cynthia Bell. Take a note of this. This is in the Deloitte 20 Trends report, 2020. Businesses with purpose grow faster, outpacing. Do you see? I mean, sometimes we forget what 100% means. It means double, right? Double the pace. When you get your why, that's the kind of thing that happens. And have a look at this. When you get your why, you are more attractive. You're like a magnet to team members, and they are attracted to you. And look at that, 3 times more likely to stay. And the holy grail, as she puts it, people are twice as productive when they're inspired by the company that they work for. And having a real purpose is the secret to that. Now, with that, oh, by the way, here's another one that I saw just 2 days ago from a very well-respected source. This guy said this: without a sense of purpose, no company, either public or private, can achieve its full potential. It will ultimately lose the license to operate. Do you want me to tell you what that means in simple terms? It means you will have no customers. That's essentially what that means. And so what we're doing today is really, really important. And the way I see this now, Adrian, is that the world is kind of splitting, or the businesses are splitting into two types of businesses. Down here, the bigger thing, you might want to draw this out, is what we call ordinary businesses. Nothing wrong with, in a sense, you know, the ordinary businesses, right? But what's they're missing out on is this top level here. And by the way, this is irrespective of business size. It has nothing to do with business size. And what we're talking about here is what I call standout businesses. Now, let's quickly look at what is a standout business. And then I'll show you a piece of video that very few people have seen. So what I want you to do, first of all, is let me just give you some characteristics of a standout business just for now, okay? So we're going to say they are premium pricing. We are going to say they are sought after. Hopefully you can see that on your screen. We are going to say that you love your clients, love them, right? And you can say really like if you like. If that's going off your screen, my apologies. 4, you have no clients you wish you did not have, right? Okay, this is what standout firms are doing. Much more joy than stress, much more joy than stress. Number 6, you don't need to take a note of these, by the way. Happy with the contribution that you're making, the legacy you're leaving. And number 7, you've got an inspired team. Now, here's what I want you to do. You can see down the bottom of your screen, now that you can see the screen, 10, 50, 100. That's like a benchmark. And here's what I want you to do. Really authentically, just put a number in there. You can put 10, you can put 100, but where you are now, where you think you are on that continuum. But before you do it, one other thing as well. Pop this up in the chat. And I want you to kind of identify maybe 2 things on that list that you think you could do better than now. What would those 2 things be? So where are you? And what would those 2 things be? Go, off you go really quickly. Pop them in the chat. Go. I know that's a tough thing. By the way, don't go like 57.5, you know, make it really, really simple stuff. Okay. And I know it's tough to be authentic in a group, but this is a safe place, by the way. So that's why I asked you to do it. Thank you, Sean. Fantastic. Michael, thank you. 4 and 2. 4 looks like, 2 is coming up. Yes. Okay. A lot. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Connor. Appreciate that. Gary, thank you. Wow, your authenticity is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you, guys. Adrian, that is a testament to the safe space that you are creating here. That is awesome. Just awesome. Well done, everybody. So the question is, how do we bridge that gap? Okay. And more importantly, what is my take on what a standout business is? And there's just one thing. Here's the thing. I know I showed you 7 things, but they all flow from one thing. And here's the thing. I call them standout because they stand for something. And that something is bigger than themselves. Make sure you underscore that in some way. Something bigger than themselves. And I'm going to give you some stuff on how you do that. By the way, pop in the chat if this is making sense as well. Hopefully it's making sense, right? MS would mean making sense, okay? Or yes would even mean that. So let's do this. Let's have a look at let's just sort of go this gently. Let's just have a look at something bigger than themselves. Please get again, it's not about you. It's about something bigger than you. And I think it was Stephen Covey, the late Stephen Covey, in his great book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, who first identified this thing. He called it a North Star, right? Something that's kind of like bigger than us, that purpose-driven companies seem to have. Now, the question is, I could get you to put in the chat what your North Star is right now, but don't worry about that because we're going to get you into groups to define this North Star. And by the way, Adrian's one that he gave you right up front is a perfect North Star. But what I'd love to do is show you how to get to your North Star. This is my friend, Simon Sinek. Okay, some of you, by the way, put in the chat if you've either read Simon's book or as in Start With Why, or you've seen his amazing, you're one of the 52 million people who've seen his TED Talk. Yes, seen the vids. Followed him for years. Yes, 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 yes. So I'm going to play you a private recording of this. By the way, have a look at what he said just recently. Great companies don't offer us something to buy. This is significant. Great companies offer us something to buy into. This is really, really significant. And by the way, another way of saying that is they offer us something to belong to. Particularly, this is so important, by the way, in COVID. So important as you double down on the relationships that you have. So not a fan, Una. Okay, you may be in a minute, right? You may be. So I got to have a conversation. It was midnight in Singapore, and it was 12 noon in Singapore, in New York, where Simon lives. And we did this conversation. I'm not going to play you the whole conversation. There's magic in this conversation, by the way. But what I am going to do is play you just 2 minutes. Wait there, 55 seconds of this conversation. And I need to make sure that my sound is on because you do not want to miss this. And now, by the way, I don't give you much time to get what he's saying. You've really got to listen up. I'm just changing my sound up here just for a sec. Just going to optimize the clip as well. Oh, it doesn't matter in this particular case. I am sharing sound. Okay. Now, before we get to play it, let's just visit, that's what Simon talked about in his book. And I think the vids on TED are much better than the book, by the way. And he knows that I say this. You will not see this anywhere. Would you please take a note of this? Your why must be front and center. Please write that down. When you do that, it is game changing, absolutely game changing, right? Remember that whole thing. It's not about, it's clarity of why, not excess of what. And you may remember Simon's mantra, 2 mantras. People don't buy what you do. I know that's hard to get, but it's true. The clients you want don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. And people don't buy what you do, they buy what you believe in. Now let's just imagine, just amongst friends, that those 2 things were true. They are true, by the way, but let's just imagine they were not, or they were. Imagine it. People don't buy what you do, they buy what you believe in. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. If they were true, then guess what you should have on your website? And guess what everybody has? What everybody has is what? What we should be having, and I'm going to show you some examples of stuff where it changes everything, seriously everything. So with that background, listen up now, get your ears into your earphones, because the first sentence he says is the crucial sentence, okay? So here we go, here's Simon.
True purpose is always human. True purpose is the idea of knowing why your business exists in terms beyond your products and services. Beyond. That the infinite goal that you set is something that will leave this world, this place, the people in it, in better shape than we found them. And even though companies can sell the same product at similar prices, the ones that have a sense of higher cause or belief are the ones that will attract people with shared common values and shared beliefs. And that's, at the end of the day, the company is the modern tribe. Why should I join your tribe? I want to feel that you stand for something. I want to feel that the people in the tribe care about each other. I want to feel that the alphas, that the leaders in that tribe want to devote themselves to the care and the advancement of their tribe, not just how much food they can hunt for on a daily basis.
Such an important first sentence. And I could get you to put it on the chat, or I could show it to you. Just because of time, let me put it on the chat for you. Here it comes. This is the first sentence, right? True purpose is always human. Please write that down. In other words, we aim to be the best XYZ business in Leeds is not a true purpose. That's all about you. I know it sounds good, right? But in the COVID thing, no. That's not how you attract customers. That's not how you attract team members. It's knowing why your business exists in terms beyond your product and service. And it's knowing that the infinite goal that you set is something that will leave this world. That's called a legacy, by the way. This place and the people in it in better shape than we found them. And please get that people often talk about leaving a legacy. We don't have any choice as to whether we will leave it. We don't. We will leave one. The choice we have is whether it's one of consumption or whether it's one of contribution. And increasingly now, we need to make sure it's that second one. And we need to make sure that instead of worrying about leaving a legacy, we live a legacy. And we leverage the legacy that we live in any event. So the crucial learnings, just really quickly. Yes, indeed, Oina, it might be. So here are the three things, right? Your why must be front and center, true purpose is human, and differentiation comes from clarity of why. Now the question is, how do you find that? How do you find it? What do? Do you go and visit some mystic? No. All you do is you get your iPhone out. And by the way, it works on Androids as well. So go grab your phone. Please just go grab your phone. Make sure you've got it. And what I want you to do, in fact, let me show you what I want you to do. And we're going to do this real, right? This is real, okay? So I want you to grab the phone. And again, this is a safe space. Just grab your phone. And what you do is this. When you grab the phone, I'll show you what you do. You say, now, if you've got an iPhone, what you say is, I'll do it on mine. Hey, Siri, open voice memo. Okay. Open voice memo. And then, oh, I did it again and again and again. And then Siri, just recording what I'm saying. And Siri will do that for you. Now, I think on Google, it's on Android, it's like, hey, Google, or something, Google Play. Anyway, it's an inbuilt thing into the operating system. So it just goes searching if you can't find it. And when you've found it, just show me that you've got it. Well, you voice memo of it, and sometimes called voice recorder, okay? Whatever one you've got. So just show me that you've got it, because we are going to need these things, okay? I do not want you to write anything down. I want you to do this all on your phone, okay? So just open voice memo or voice recorder, sometimes called that, okay? And by the way, if you can't find it now, then someone in the breakthrough rooms is going to help you find, oh, you're on your phone using Zoom. That makes it a bit challenging. Yes, that does make it a bit challenging, although you can do it. You can do it, by the way, on your phone, okay? But then you may lose me, okay? So for those of us that have done it, here's what I want you to do, right? What I'm going to do in a moment, I'm going to say a sentence, and your only task is to say the opening line of the sentence and then complete it. So in other words, if I said, and by the way, pushing the button before you do it, right? So you push the button, and if I said, Mary had a little lamb, you would say, button push, Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, okay? It's as simple as that. Okay, here we go. By the way, mute yourself. You're all muted, which is great, but just do it. Okay, here we go. Ready? Here's the sentence. I get up every morning to, go, complete the sentence, go. I get up every morning to, and no one's listening to you, so just go for it. I get up every morning to, I can see the lips moving. This is good. Andy, this is good. Wow. Well done, everybody. Well done. Now, please, save what you've got. Just save it. And thank you for trusting me enough to do that, right? That's a tough exercise. But let me tell you what the magic in that exercise is. You'll notice I said, do not write it down. Here's the reason why, not yet anyway. It's because when we write stuff, we sometimes write stuff that is not us. We invent words that we'd never, but what I wanted to do there was to put you on the spot and just see what comes out, right? Because that's how you get to this. That is exactly how you get to this. Now, let me show you what happens sometimes. For example, we have a lot of women on the call today. Thank you. You rule the world. You really do. Oh, in the most gracious way. Isn't it great that, if you looked at the countries doing good during this time, you get Iceland, you get New Zealand, and you get Scotland, and they're all run by women, which is kind of interesting. So, Women frequently, when I get them to do this, they say things like this. They say things like, I get up every morning to be a great example for my children. Now, fundamentally, that is a cool thing, a really cool thing to say. But if I was being like tough love, I would say, well, I get that, but it's still about you. And all I want you to do, please take a note of this. I get them to put in another word or another phrase. They're two very simple words. The two words are so that. So it comes out like this, or it may come out like this. I get up every morning to be a great example for my children so that they can inspire the kids around them. And perhaps as a result of that, we can make a real dent and difference in our community. Now we're getting somewhere. Hope you see the difference. One other thing you might want to write down is this. Frequently people say they're stuck. Oh God, I can't find the why, okay? Don't try and chase it. Just put, as you do it on the phone, just put two words before, and the words are, for now, I get up every morning. And that will unlock a whole sort of thing for you. So Adrian, those two things. Now let me give you some specific examples of this, right? So that you really get it. And I'll take you to some websites of doing it very quickly. So we've got that we need to be on purpose. That's this something bigger than ourselves. We've got the true purpose is always human. So let's go have a look at an accounting firm. It happens to be called Imagine Accounting. We get up every morning to build the kind, you can read that, to always dreamed of, then look at the human bit. We want you to be delighted with your contribution to family. And you might look at that, just one second, I'm just gonna have to change one thing here. So, and what I want you to do is to actually see this on their website. So let's just go to the website. Here it is, a guy called Mark Williams, right? Right there. And we'll be finished really, really soon. And we can go look at the about, and we can find there, by the way, they've got all their awards up there and all this kind of stuff. And you can see right there it is, right? We help you build the kind of, that's it, front and center. Nothing about what they do, but everything about why they do. Now, let's come back here and let me take you to an even better example in some ways. And that is a guy who is a nerd. This guy's a nerd. His name, and I mean that lovingly, his name is Marty Hark. Marty runs an internet security company. It's called Infinite Edge. Let's go have a look at Marty's. We make complex technology beautifully simple for you. There's the so that, right? So that you can concentrate on what you do best, being human. We give you and your teams the freedom to connect in new ways, to bring that sense of humanity to your workplace, your families, to your communities, and of course, to our world. I want to be a part of that. I don't know about you, but I do. And by the way, if you didn't, that's kind of okay, because you're not the customer that we would like to have, if you sort of, and you can see there, I just clicked into his, I know he's got lots of lead magnets and stuff. I must tell him he's got way too many lead magnets there. But anyway, you can see it's right there. Marty would tell you that has fundamentally forever changed the way his team feel about the company, feel the way he feels about the company, and it's been attracting more customers than he could ever imagine, because it is all about them and the world. Final little point. What if you were a business coach? What about that? I get up every morning to inspire others around me, to work with business owners so that they build extraordinary businesses and they live truly fulfilled lives, contributing to their community and making a real difference to our world. I want to sign up for that. Hopefully that all makes sense for you. Final little piece. Oh, by the way, yes, we should also remember the global goals so that your business can seriously become a force for good. And those of you who want to find out more about that, I've got one more little video for you, but we are doing this in spades now with people who, as Adrian said, whoops, who are part of B1G1. And you can see all the people that have been joining today, which is not what you were supposed to see. But anyway, never mind. You just go to b1g1.com and you will see where the good stuff is, b1g1.com. Now, Adrian, final little piece. We said earlier on that you're asking how I was and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I'm kind of curious. That's why I can't stop doing this. And when I think of curiosity, I think of, the world and all of that kind of stuff. And one of my favorite guys who answers my questions is a guy called Neil deGrasse Tyson. You may know him as an astrophysicist. You may know him from his fantastic series called Cosmos. This interview right here is stunning, absolutely stunning. I'm just going to change my share so that you can see this. I'm going to optimize the video clips. Have a listen to this.
So my impact would be that others are impacted and they don't even remember that I had something to do with it. On my tombstone, I want the epitaph, be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity. And a victory for humanity is not a victory for yourself. It's not statues, it's not your name, it's just humanity's better off. Any of us, I think, should want the world to be a little better off for you having lived in it. That doesn't mean people praising you, not even about that. So what do you have to give?
There you go. And the final piece for me, Adrian, and thank you for letting me do this, is maybe there's a rallying call to really think about humanity. So let's get out there and score some victories for humanity. And by the way, that is precisely how we create the magic as entrepreneurs. It's not about us. It's about the people we serve. And here's a little phrase that I thought of literally this morning. Look at this. When we create magic for others, we create real magic for ourselves. If we can go about our week remembering that, then it's going to be kind of fascinating. And you are going to be benefited so much from what we've been able to share. And by the way, remember this, I think I told you this one last time. When your vision and purpose, if you like, becomes more powerful than your memory, then your future becomes so much more powerful than your past.
Fantastic. If we can all kindly give Paul a fantastic round of applause. Thank you, everybody.
Hey,
this point,
thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Paul.
welcome. And at this point, I'm going to pass you back to the studio, back to Adrian.